And this is for everyone else who wants to watch too and may get a better understanding of Pisces, if you will. Um, right. So this is in regards to astrologers, and because this is where primarily where people get this from is from astrologers, and for the most part, the majority of astrologers happen to say this about Pisces, and I'm not going to say all of them do, but for the majority they do. If you read up on us a lot, you'll see this a lot for Pisces, right? And they say that Pisces are weak-willed. All right. Not only that, but to be more extensive, they say that Pisces have a tendency to let their emotions cloud their judgment. And a main reason why I'm doing this video is because I had a discussion with a Pisces earlier, a short one where she was like, she's totally the contrary, right? And I had to agree with her. And she was a bit irate behind reading that because it was a consistent thing. She said, why is it that we always see this? And I had to agree. It's like, it's more than not. We will see an astrologer say that Pisces are weak-willed, right? So, okay, let me go into why people or astrologers may say this. And keep in mind that this is primarily why people who read astrology say this as well. They agree with this as well, right? So this could piss a Pisces off even more. Before I get into that, though, I want to state that keep in mind that this astrology thing has been going on for a long time. People have been well aware of how human beings are influenced by planetary movements and the stars, excuse me, right? So look at it like this. You know how people say, got to think outside the box. And sometimes people are like, well, what is the box? Well, the box is the existing market. And we always got to keep merchants in mind when we're discussing things like this, right? Economy. This is hugely what this whole thing is about, right? So let's say astrologers and people who've been doing this for generations passed down, right? They are well aware of the sea monster, the Pisces, who swims and lurks and can, without a doubt, be anything and everything that they ever want to be. And, people in power understand these things, right? And you got to look at it as far as a water sign. I want you to look at it as far as being a water sign. 70% of the earth the water takes up, right? So you got to remind yourself that Pisces domain is 70% of the planet that we're sharing our activity on, right? So they're well aware of this. How aware of it we are is where the importance comes in when they deem us as weak-willed, right? Because you got to look at it like this: the existing market, let's say, if they're primarily ruled by fire signs or whatever the case may be, you would notice that fire signs are more, doesn't matter if they're quick-witted, they're more quick to take action. So if the existing market says a Pisces is weak-willed, it's probably because we're not moving to the beat of someone else's drum, which could, for an example, be a fire sign. When they say, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do this, 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 and then get down to the job and move like this. I want you to do it this way. I don't care if you just did it better than I can ever have done it in my life. I still want you to do it that way, right? And a Pisces is just like, no, I'm doing it my way. Like, this is why when we lose jobs or we stay at a job for maybe 2 years or 3 years and then we're either leaving or we're getting fired because we do it better and we don't feel like kissing the boss's ass and we don't feel like changing our routine because we know it's better. We lose our job. And now Pisces is sitting there thinking to themselves, am I crazy, right? And in some of these instances, you can respond emotionally because you've been pushed to that point to where you have to explain to the boss, look, you suck at what you're doing, or the way you're training these people sucks. I'm the best. You don't want to admit it. Now our egos are clashing because you obviously have one. Mine has been silent and on zero to the point where you probably didn't think I have one. However, now I'm pushed to the point and now I must tell you about yourself. Where's the paperwork so I can sign out of here because I know that's the next step, right? Pisces, I guess from the outside looking in, maybe you are crazy, right? However, I don't want you to think to yourself that you're crazy. I want you to look at this as a two-way street and this can go either way, right? You know your strong traits, and you should be capitalizing on those traits, all right? And if your field of work is ran by someone outside of your element, or maybe a faction that is not designed for you to prosper in, you should not be in there. You should get out of there, because that is that reality that they keep talking about that Pisces does not want to be in, all right? So get out of it. It's not your reality. It's their reality, okay? And when they say Pisces is weak-willed because they won't keep the job for 15, 20 years, or whatever the case may be, so what? That's not your position. That's whoever they get to influence to be in that position for 15, 20 years. It's just like the people who got into pensions, 401k plans, and they're their average Joe. They work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. They want to take their family on vacation, so they get these plans and they let their bankers run them, and the bankers didn't even go to school for it. So what the bankers do is they mirror what happened on the stock market today. Oh, these stocks that you hold dropped 3 points today, so you lost money. When in all actuality, a stockbroker, the real stockbroker who is managing that type of mutual fund, either sold or held or bought more with your portfolio. However, what's shown to you in the bank is a whole entire different story. All they have to do is mirror the market, and you go for it because you're not taking the time to study stocks and stuff like that, right? So now, can you prove this? Of course. I mean, it sounds criminal, right? And it is criminal. However, can you prove this? Will you spend the lawyer money and everything to do this? No, you probably won't. You probably will go 15 to 20 years at that same job thinking that your pension is going to be enough to pay for your retirement, this, that, and the third, and then come to find out like what's happening right now. That's not the case, right? And I'm not saying that this happens to Pisces. I'm saying more than anything, right? A Pisces is going to go against this wave and cause a wave of their own. This does not mean that you're weak-willed because you don't bend to the will of that type of prediction, okay? Because that's what it is. It's the power of others to predict the future for themselves, not necessarily for you. Yeah, you can get by and you'll have a nice 15, 20 year run, maybe if you're not stressed out through the situation. Maybe if you believe, because some people in those positions, they believe that the risk of trying something different is too risky. They don't want to jeopardize what they do have, their wife, right? That they can afford to make happy and stuff like that, like their kids. Like, people don't want to risk ruffling those type of feathers, so they just stay where they are, And Pisces, you're not weak-willed because you don't want to do that, all right? So don't let these people think that, or make it seem like you're crazy or you're not confident enough to hold down a position or whatever the case may be. You have the power to create whatever position you want for yourself, all right? And these people who are in power or who control these factions are well aware of that. Now, whether or not they sit down and take the time out to figure out that you're a Pisces or not, I doubt it, because it's a numbers game for them, right? And 9 times out of 10, like, if you really do research in these factions, you'll find out that the people who hold the higher positions are not necessarily qualified to hold the positions. They're put there for other reasons that I'd probably have to discuss in another video, so you'd be able to understand it. And it's not even something that you want to be upset at. It's just that when you identify that, you'd be like, you could laugh it off and shrug it off and be like, oh, okay, I know now. And then you just leave the fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as emotions being able to cloud your judgment, that's not for all Pisces. And trust me when I tell you, like, I know Pisces that they get so irate behind something, or they react to things instead of responding, if that makes any sense. And they'll blow their intelligence. So what I want you to do right now, right, is think in terms of being associated with a Libra, because if you notice, a lot of my videos are about relationships anyway, right? So, and I've been doing research on Libra lately, and because I'm always in awe and reflecting on relationships that I have with Libra, I have a lot of Libra experiences, and this is what I want you to get out of this, Pisces, for direction, right? Libras have a way of manipulating mentality to be in powerful positions that benefit the Pisces, okay? And in most times, if you can group with the Libra in that same atmosphere, you will be successful. And this is what I came upon from reflecting on Libra, right? Because I've been in both situations. I've been with a Libra before where they went outside of our union to involve themselves with other people and other things. And, I was like, okay, that's not good. And lo and behold, I was right about that. Our situation didn't end up so well. However, there are other times when me and the Libra were associated in an industry or a field and we were superior there, right? So Pisces doesn't want to be manipulated by anyone, right? And really what happens is, and why I said Libra, right? Because Libra is an air sign and they're a cardinal air sign, and air has to deal with intellect, and Pisces is a water sign, has to deal more with intuition, although you may run across a lot of Pisces who are very intelligent. Now, the combination of these two is where Libra will manipulate a intelligent situation, and if Pisces can catch on, they can become very prosperous, right? So when a Libra does this, it's in a leadership role. They're either putting you in a leadership role or putting both of you in a leadership role because they're a cardinal. Now, remember, I said a Pisces can create and become anything they want and be the best at it. So this is your opportunity to become a leader at whatever it is that you're doing and set the emotions aside if you run high on emotion. Like the lady that I had the discussion with, I'm a lot like her. I'm very nonchalant, I'm very laid back, and I'm very logical. Like, you know what I'm saying? And some people may think I'm stagnated because of that, and it's not that. And to extend more on the union of the Pisces and the Libra, both are open to connectivity. Sometimes to a point where not always the best people are recruited. And I think Pisces has the ability, a better ability than Libra, to be selective when it comes to those decisions. And this is where the union comes into play at a great level, because the Libra is very diplomatic, so they'll get the shakers and the movers around and make things happen. And Pisces loves connectivity. However, Pisces is very selective. All right, so both of these signs are said to be indecisive, and it's not really that. It's just that they're open-minded and they're open to suggestion. They're open to brand new ideas. So when these things are acted on, right, this is where you become prosperous. This is where the proof shows that Pisces is definitely not weak-willed. All right, this goes to show that Pisces and Libra are not indecisive. It's just that they have to be in the rhythm and the flow of things that are beneficial to them. You understand what I'm talking about? And they are intellectual, rational decisions. And this is where, and now you don't have to necessarily be exclusive with a Libra. And this is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it can benefit you to have a Libra wherever in your circle of friends or just anywhere in business, or if they're just shoulders to lean on, have one around, have two around if you can. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it could really benefit you a lot because they'll suggest something and you may feel it as a manipulative tactic, which it probably is. However, Pisces, you gotta be open to, since you're open to everything, you might as well be open to the suggestion of a Libra. And I'm telling you, and when you can build on your talents that you already possess, you'll realize that it's not a manipulation tactic. So I'm hoping this video reaches the people it's supposed to reach and can help you in terms of direction and not being too moved by astrologers and the people who read astrology or those type of statements that says Pisces are weak-willed. Don't be too much bothered by that. Take this information and utilize it to benefit you, Pisces. And so you will know that they're only saying that because they know that it can deter you from doing what you want to do. Now, am I saying that astrologers are purposely creating content to derail the Pisces? I'll leave that up to you to decide. What do you think?